Welcome to the Week 11 update of Losing It 2025. I am well on my way to achieving my goal of losing 100 pounds in 2025. I can't wait to share how things are going. In fact, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to tell you right now. Since January 1st, I've lost a total of 47 pounds. I have dropped from 335 down to 288. Things are going great. That having been said, this last week's been a bit of a roller coaster. I'd like to share some thoughts with you about that and about my goals for the next week and beyond right after this. All right. So last week was spring break and we were off for the whole week. And so that meant that a lot of my routines, a lot of my patterns in the way that I've been doing things on a day in, day out basis, they changed because I was home. And so I had a lot more free time. I ended up eating out a couple of times, stayed on a plant-based diet, but pasta and bread, and another time when there was more pasta and more bread. And so though I did maintain a calorie restriction for the most part, there was a lot more processed flour, a lot more simple carbohydrate in my diet than usual, and there were some fluctuations on the scale. In fact, I went from Wednesday the 19th weighing 289 pounds. That Saturday, I had dropped down to 287. So I lost a couple of pounds between Wednesday and Saturday. But then Monday, after the weekend, right, I shot all the way up to 292 pounds. Yikes, that was a little scary. And then, of course, today I've dropped back down to 288 to give myself a net weight loss of 1 pound from Wednesday to Wednesday, which is how I'm measuring. I'm measuring from Wednesday to Wednesday. So that's a net loss of 1 pound. Now, what do I think about that? Well, I think that it was an interesting week. It was an interesting week because I found myself in more social settings. I found myself in situations where I was eating food that I didn't have direct control over. And I found that I was actually doing a lot more cooking when I was at home, doing experimentation with different recipes and trying different things. And when I cook and when I'm trying new recipes, there's a lot of tasting that takes place. So I'm sure that I picked up a few uncharted calories through that time. I am very proud to say that one of the things I've been very successful in over the last 3 months is in tracking my food. I'm using the MyFitnessPal app, and I have logged my meals every single day since the beginning of the year without missing a day, and that's a big deal. Another thing I've done with great regularity is I have weighed myself, as the data which I've shared with you today demonstrates, going from 289 to 287 to 292 to 288. It's quite a roller coaster ride, as you can imagine. So I want to take a moment to talk about the value of doing what I have done in regards to weighing myself daily. Some people are opposed to the idea of weighing themselves daily because it causes anxiety, it causes stress, and they can get a little obsessive about the scale. But for me, the scale is about collecting data. And one thing that I've learned from being a teacher for the last 10 or 11 years is that data matters. There's an old saying, in God we trust, everyone else bring data. Data matters. Data is important, but data is only as valuable as the actions that you take based upon that data and your analysis of the data itself. For instance, I can look at this down and way up and then down again pattern in my weight on a weekly and daily basis. And I can look at that and say, okay, these are the behaviors that I was exhibiting here, and these are the behaviors that I was exhibiting here, and these behaviors are working, and those behaviors are not working so much. And so what I'm able to do then is to look at that data and evaluate my practice based on the evidence that I'm seeing and then modify and adjust my practice moving forward. And that's really what developing and working a plan to achieve a particular goal is all about, right? I mean, first you've got to identify your goal. You've got to explore and determine, what goal is it that you're wanting to set for yourself. And then you have to develop a plan or systems to help change the behaviors that have gotten you where you are to the new behaviors that are going to get you to where you want to be. But once you've created a plan and a system to begin to change those behaviors, you've got to have a way of assessing and evaluating your progress. And for me, weighing weekly is just not enough. That is not a responsive enough data set for me to be able to make midstream adjustments with. Now, that having been said, there's a certain amount of fluctuation in your weight that is just natural. It's going to happen. Some days you're going to be up, some days you're going to be down, and there are a variety of factors that come into play that cause that to happen. And it's not to say that you need to be worried about every tick up or down in the scale. But when you see patterns and you can look back on behavior and identify the behaviors that resulted in those patterns, then that helps you to adjust and identify what patterns need to be changed. So again, the process, I guess you could say, is set a goal, develop a system to create habits that are going to help you to achieve that goal, create measures that are going to help you evaluate your progress on that goal, regularly review, reflect upon, analyze that data, and then make live stream adjustments in response to that data, and then watch to see if the data changes moving forward. So I am a big believer in tracking your food daily and in weighing yourself daily and keeping track of that data. Because knowing how your body is responding to the new things that you are doing is incredibly valuable information. And it has helped me make adjustments as I have progressed. So where does that leave me? It leaves me right here. I have lost 47 pounds in 11 weeks. And I would absolutely love to be able to say on next week's video that I lost 50 pounds in 3 months. My goal is that by the end of this month, by the end of March, I will step on that scale on April 1st, and it will show that I have lost 50 pounds in 90 days. In order to achieve that goal, I've got to lose 3 pounds this week. So that's what I'm going to do. Will I succeed? Only time will tell. Stay tuned for future updates, and between now and then, I'm sure I'll have 1 or 2 more videos, some tips and just updates, fun stuff, and maybe another scripture or 2 to help encourage you to make the changes that you're wanting to make. I've got to say, one of the best parts of making these changes has been creating these videos and this channel. I'm happy to say, the channel is not like growing by leaps and bounds, but we're up to 91 followers as of this morning. So welcome all 91 of you who are following the channel. I'm so glad to have you here. And if you are a new viewer, if this is the first time you've watched, welcome aboard. The goal again is to lose 100 pounds in 2025, and we are 47% of the way there in less than 3 months. So that's awesome, and I'm very happy with those results. Good luck on your weight loss journey or on your journey of change, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish this year. If I can pray for you or encourage you in any way, please leave a comment below. And if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe to the channel. It's an encouragement to me. And this channel is helping me to be accountable as I work toward those goals. Thank you again for taking the time to watch today, and may God bless you.